Welcome to the second video of the series where I'm talking about the concepts of OOPs and taking them up with Python. So this is the second video of the series, and like in the first video, as you can recall, we covered the basic concepts of what is a class and how a class object can be created, and the very basics about how classes operate and how the objects can be used to call functions and so on. But also we saw one issue in the example in the previous video, where if we are creating two objects for the same class and trying to access an attribute, for example, the name attribute that we were trying to access, even though there are two separate objects, ideally the name attribute should be something that is specific to the instance. But what was happening in our case is, because both the objects were calling the same attribute, which was defined as a common attribute across for the entire class, the output was always the same name, which is not an ideal situation. So that is where we would want to first understand like what are class attributes and what are instance attributes. Class attributes are the attributes that are common to all the instances of the class. So in the previous example, all these attributes that we see, these are all these are all can be categorized as class attributes. While instance attributes are the attributes that are specific to each individual instance of the class. So I mean, that is precisely the kind of usage of instance attributes, where if you want to segregate or assign a specific property that is specific only to that particular instance of the class, and it's different for each different object or instance of the class, that is where instance attributes come into picture. So let's try to see how class and instance attributes will work. So for that, I'll define a class called employee, and within that class, just like we did yesterday, let me define number of working hours as one of the attribute, and let me define it as 40. And let's try to create an object for this class now. If name, let me create an object employee1 employee. So this will give me one object for this class, and if I call the number of working hours for this object, employee1 dot number of working hours, let me print it out. And similar to this, let's create an object and if I do the same thing for this object as well, that is to call the same number of working hours attribute, and if we print this value as expected, both of them should return the same value. As you can see, both of them are returning 40. However, what we want is the number of working hours should be different for the different employees, or in that case, let's say the number of working hours may still be same, which is expected. So this is an example of a class attribute, but let's say we take the same example, that is of name. So let's say I define the employee1 dot name as one of the attribute, and I call this as truth. And if let's say I have basically I define the name as another instance attribute for the second object as well, and then if we print the two, let's see what happens. So if I run this, okay, so now if you will see here, This name attribute for the employee 1 is basically returning the value of Ashok, while the name attribute for employee 2 is rightly returning the name value as Arun. So this is an example of an instance attribute. Yeah, both of them are examples of instance attribute. So basically this is the difference between the two, that an instance attribute is specific to the instance. Now let's say we also had the same name attribute as value in the class itself. Now what ideally should happen is, if for any employee we are not defining the name, it should basically use the name that is coming from the class attribute of the class, because the instance attribute is not there. So if I try to run this, let me save this. So this time the first object should return a value dummy, because it is reading the name as a class attribute directly from the class. So this also shows us how is the order of execution working, especially in case of classes and instance attribute. So if let's say there is some attribute which is defined as a class attribute, and we are overriding it while calling the object and redefining the value as an instance attribute, so the instance attribute will take precedence. If I want to check that, if I again basically enable this instance attribute here and run it again, if you will see that now it is returning the correct instance value for the name with this new change. So the order of execution is anytime any attribute will be accessed using the class object, the first thing to check is whether an instance attribute exists with the same name. If that is available, then that will be returned. Otherwise it will look for a class attribute with that name and it will return the class attribute. And also, like you would have observed, when we defined the name attribute initially, it was not a part of a class attribute, so it's not mandatory that an attribute should mandatorily be defined as a class attribute, even though we want to use it as an instance attribute. So instance attribute can be independent of class attributes. So this is basically what I wanted to cover with regards to the instance attributes and class attributes. These are like I mean, these sometimes they do cause some confusion. That's why I wanted to clarify it with a very simple example. I hope this is clear, and yeah, I'll continue making similar videos in this series, and I hope this video was useful. I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Thanks a lot.